Hey there, Soul Shine. It's Michelle here, and I am inviting you to wake up and live. And I'm inviting you to subscribe to my channel and that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to kind of, um, didn't really have a specific subject. I do have a plan of what to talk about tomorrow, unless something else comes up. So I just wanted to kind of give you an update. Wow, talk about crazy life. Um, I've truly been struggling and I don't like it. I feel like a fraud in so many ways when I'm inviting people to wake up and live and truly I have been feeling like I'm dying. Not necessarily physically, although my body hasn't been a great help, but emotionally I felt that way. I felt like a complete failure in so many areas of my life. And it's been frustrating for me. It's been incredibly frustrating because for 4 years, I've had problems, but like really easy to switch them um, and just really easy to shift it. And then this came along and it's been, it's like one of those things that says, hey, look at me, and I'm not going to go away until you look at me. And there's some kind of a concern about death or about dying or something. So when I went to an event, quite a few, like back in April, I went to an event and I had this huge breakdown. I guess you could call it a breakthrough, except for I've only of it. And I don't know why I've been avoiding the one part, but I truly have avoided the one part of it. But what it was is, I just, there was, Laura Langmeyer, who is like a billionaire, came in and was speaking at the event. And like she has this questionnaire where she asks people things, and you sit down depending on where you're at. And I sat down on the first question, and nobody else did. Um, and that was really hard for me to just realize where I was. And part of it is because I have been in this transitional place of coming from a poverty mindset and transitioning into an abundant mindset. And sometimes when you're in that transition, it's hard to fully embrace abundant mindset. But I'm doing my best. When things about money come up, instead of saying I can't afford it or I can't do this or whatever, I stop myself and I just like, okay, I don't know how, but somehow it's going to work. So how can I do this? What would it take? So I'm catching myself. And so that's why I'm in this transitional place, hard place to be in. But I just ended up breaking down at that event and bawling my eyes out. And I journaled during my tears and came up with things that I wasn't aware of, that I believed and thought about money and things about money. And I'm pretty sure one of the things is probably at the root of why I have been sick since that event. Um, One of the things was that money abandons you. And that came from when my parents got divorced when I was 12, we went from, apparently we were kind of lower middle class because of the way my parents did things. I never realized that there was any kind of less than money things going on. Um, my parents, when they got their tax returns, would buy a side of beef. There was only four of us, and so I was raised eating steak. I didn't understand why that would be a big deal until I got older and I realized that steak's more expensive and most people don't just readily have it around. So we did that. We had neighbors that had a farm that we raised a pig on, so we had that. Um, I'm thinking about my children that are vegetarians, and I can see they're cringing just thinking about it. We had a garden, so we grew up with garden, and when we needed things for school, there was money for it. And so I never, like, I got told no when I asked for things, but I didn't feel like I got told no because we didn't have money. And then my parents got divorced. And along with my dad no longer being a part of my life, money was no longer a part of my life. Money left when my parents got divorced. Money abandoned me. And so that was some of my beliefs. But there was some other beliefs and things that came up too. And that was the big thing. That's been the big thing for me. And I haven't been fully willing to take it on. When I'm trying to think exactly. I might have been 16, might have just been 15, I'm not sure. My mom ended up in the mental health ward of the hospital. My mom was suicidal. She, as a single mom, was working 4 jobs and was going to school full time. I think this was before, I think this was after her knee surgery. I'm not sure because she'd had knee surgery in the middle of all this, like a total reconstruction down our knee. She would have been, let's see, when she had her breakdown. If I was 15, she would have been 45. I happen to be 45 right now. And I'm a single mom. I live with my mom, and I don't do a very good job of supporting my family. And I end up shutting down very quickly. And the thing is the reason why is because I don't want to be like my mom. And I know from when I was going to school, and I wasn't even working, when I did have a tiny baby, that was different than my mom. When my mom was going to school, she had, when we first moved to Utah State area, to Logan, I was 12 and my brother was 11. So she just had the two of us. My brother was a troublesome child. I happen to have a child that's pretty stressful for me right now. And so there's a lot of pattern repeat stuff going on. I'm a single mom. I have a troublesome child. When I was going to school, my youngest, he'll be 9 in August. He was a brand new baby, and my adrenal fatigue symptoms were coming back, which is really scary. It was the scariest time in my life when my adrenal fatigue was at full capacity. And I noticed adrenal fatigue symptoms come back so easy for me. I get stressed out pretty easy, and I don't want to end up being in that same place. And so I have all these patterns going on, and they're so much like my mom. It's a family history kind of thing. But it's just kind of a world thing anyway. Like, it's pretty common in the world. And my mom would push through and just do. And she still just pushes through and just does. My mom is like 74 years old and works so stinking hard. And it's hard to see and know that I'm a contributing factor. But I also know that I have this shutdown mechanism inside of me. And I think it's a fear of becoming like that, a fear of dying. And yet at the same time, I feel like I'm dying. It's just this crazy place. And I haven't quite figured out how to get out of it yet. I think this is one of those times when I get to seek help. So, I have a friend who might watch this movie. She'll know exactly what I need from her. And maybe I'll actually tell her, hey, Lydia, sweetheart, go watch this movie and then see what you can do for me to help me. Because I don't know. So this is one of the things that's going on. It's really hard. I don't think a lot of people realize that when somebody is in depression or have other health issues or stuff, especially if it's a invisible illness like depression, I don't think people realize everything that's going on for them. Some people push through and go through as if life is grand, and other people shut down. And in some ways, I feel like a fake because I get on here and try to be happy, but obviously I haven't been as happy lately. My light hasn't been shining as bright lately, and I know it's like whatever I stirred up but didn't fully address, and I haven't figured out why I think a part of it is a safety thing. It doesn't feel like it's safe to let that go. Because think about it, if I let go of this thing that is preventing me from overworking and becoming suicidal like my mom, then I could become suicidal. So it's like, it's not safe to let it go. And so I think that's why I'm holding on to it. So this is where I'm at and what I'm looking at. And as I'm talking about it, I think this is some of the things that as I get through this and get past it, this is some of the areas I can help people with. You can turn your mess into your message. It's what a lot of people say. My mess is my message. When you've gone through a place, it gives you compassion for somebody. It gives you, you know what it took to get out of it, so you can help other people out of it. Sometimes it takes us a long time to get out of it, but we see how easy it is with the right tools. And so we can go back and help people so they don't have to go through it for a long time. I think that's pretty awesome and pretty rad. So that's kind of where I'm at, where it's been going on. In awesome news, I went to church today. I lead the music for my congregation. So I'm up there leading our opening hymn, and my son and daughter-in-law walked in. I was like, oh my gosh! I just wanted to run down there and hug them, which wasn't an option, but that's what I wanted to do. I was so excited. So much fun. My grandbaby is due 2 weeks from today. So anytime in the next 4 weeks, I get to be a Lola. Lola is the Filipino word for grandma, and both my daughter-in-law and my son served service missions for our church in a couple of they were in different areas, but they both went to the Philippines. So I'm really excited to be a Lola. I always wanted to have a special name, I guess in the South, Mima is pretty common. Oma is like a German thing, like a nanny or nana. I didn't want to be a grandma. I just didn't want to have that name. I remember as a little kid being confused about grandmas and grandma cook and grandma, my other grandma, and just like these different things. Like it was so confusing to me. And then we had a lady across the street that we called grandma. And that's kind of funny to think about now. But I'm so excited. I get to be a Lola. Lola Michelle. I'm really, really excited. Oh, so excited. She's going to be so beautiful. They're going to name her Edelweiss. Isn't that a pretty name? So sometime in the next 4 weeks, I get to be a Lola. That's exciting. That's exciting news. And I will be so ecstatic when I get on Facebook and YouTube and all the different places and say, it's happened, she's here. It's so exciting. Other things this week. This week my daughter goes to another kind of camp. And I'm going to an energy healing conference. Tammy Ward Anderson, I cannot remember the name of the conference, but it's like a big deal in Utah, this energy healing conference, and I think it's like the biggest energy healing conference in the world. So it's like people come all over the place, and there's going to be so many people speaking. Dr. Brad Nelson, who wrote the Emotion Code and has the Body Code, which is like a huge healing modality, he'll be at the conference. Let's see who else. Last summer was so cool. I went last summer and I got to meet Donna Eden, who is like the grandmother of energy medicine. So incredible, such an amazing woman, and I got to meet her. Got to hug her. That was incredible experience. So there's people, like incredible people that come to these. There's going to be people, there's a guy there. I'm really excited to learn from that ADHD and dyslexia. He's got a thing with where in a day he helps integrate the brain so that those are no longer a challenge for people. It doesn't eliminate their genius, because most of them are really genius. They just have a connection problem in their brain, and whatever he does eliminates that so that they have full function. And I have a son who has dyslexia, and we have some other learning disabilities, and possibly, like, we haven't been diagnosed, but there could be ADHD in our family. And there's definitely some other things, and I have some questions for this guy, so I'm really excited to meet him. It's just going to be an awesome opportunity. So if you listened all the way through, awesome. If you didn't, I totally understand, where I was talking about some of the sad stuff in the beginning. Last night I set the intention before I went to bed that some healing would happen about how I was feeling about stuff, and I woke up feeling tons better today, so that's awesome. I love the power of intention and the power of what can happen while we're sleeping. So and that's exciting, and so I'll do a little bit more of that tonight. Maybe some more about the safety, that it's safe to heal this and let this go, because this has been a couple of months, hard to, as things, I totally stopped doing a morning routine, and I just can't even bring myself to do it. I feel like I'm in this place of one more thing is just going to make me collapse. And I don't want to be in that place anymore. I want to be in a place of love and joy and shining my light. And I want to bring to my YouTube channel that light and the message, and to let people know that they're incredible and they're needed, and your light is needed, and that it's safe to be you. And so anyway, that's just where I'm at today. Thank you for watching. Because the Energy Healing Conference Thursday and Friday are going to be pretty crazy. I was a guest on a podcast, and I haven't actually looked at the video, but I have that video to download and then make an intro for. So my plan is to get that ready to go out on one of the days, and then I have another video that I've recorded as I was teaching my children Monday night that I wanted to share about music. About music and the power, and kind of seriously how incredibly powerful music is. And so I want to get that one ready and so that I have both of those videos for Thursday and Friday, and I have those taken care of. So that's the plan for that. This week I want to actually follow through with talking about the sacral chakra. That's the orange chakra. It's also sometimes referred to as a womb chakra, and I'm excited to delve into that one a little bit more, and talk to you guys about that, and share with you about that. Share with you about how that chakra works in manifesting, and how that chakra can work with your message. So those are some things going on this week. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being my YouTube family. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Remember to let your soul shine big, bright, live, and beautiful, and be you, the incredible you that you were made to be. Yes.